Christie. All right, we're back in session.
Before you have hopefully the final version of Commission proposed budget. The top sheet is your funding side. I made accommodations for our discussion for property tax dollars. We did have to make a minor adjustment to landfill's reserves for the tool allowance. I talked to Scott. He came in and saw me, and I talked to him about the $250,000 in property acquisitions. I moved that to PILT. Hopefully that's okay. But we had talked about that, and I'm not sure if he's going to need it all. It's going to be property to get, or acquisitions to get the amphitheater improved for certain items, and just concert-related items and events. I threw that in PILT just for the simplicity of reporting, because ARPA might be a little bit of a nightmare. We can talk more about specific items.
He still has the funds. It's just
He does,
where
yeah.
it's coming from
Yes.
is the only difference.
But then we weren't as forced with the other revenues, where I was a little concerned with the projections on what the revenue would come in at. I did adjust that because this needs to be a balanced budget, so I adjusted the other revenues to reflect the expenditures.
Okay.
Those were the only other changes. Scott did say he would like that vacant position to be moved up to extra help. So I moved that up there per his request, but that didn't change a budget. It just took away a full-time position.
So you have a question about Scott's right now? Or you want to go later?
Did we, and I was looking through the project, the PILT project, and we had some money in there for the amphitheater, which was the razors and some other stuff. Is
In the current year?
I'm sorry, yeah.
For FY24, the only items I have in there are the boiler project and now these property acquisitions. I did talk to Scott today. He has a line on 3 razors or
Correct.
side-by-sides for $60,000. I told him to get me the final number for sure. I would provide him with funding options if he didn't already have it in his budget. And then if he wanted to meet with you guys next week to get the approval, I would email the board where we can pay for it.
And then the security cameras that we've talked about a little bit.
If he can get me those numbers, I will do the exact same thing.
Okay. And then the last question I had was, we had some money put in the budget this year to remodel this room.
Okay.
Thought we had put like 100,000 in the budget to.
Was that, I think that was in property, capital acquisitions in
Yeah.
the trust. That money's still there.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that that was still there, so.
We've
okay.
got in FY24, I mean, if we can get that done this year, great, but in FY24, I have 425,000 in property acquisition, or remodel projects, and we
Courthouse.
just need to identify
Okay,
what projects we want to use.
okay, I just didn't want to lose it if we
Yeah,
had
nope,
talked about it.
I
Okay.
rolled that amount over.
Fantastic, thank you.
So that's the funding side. We're using, like I said, the full 110 that was left over. That is still, if you look on your papers, highlighted in purple-ish, it shows how much we used last year versus how much is this year. It's $158,738 less in property taxes than the prior year. If you look on the back, the projected levy without final operating values from the state, we are projecting the levy to come out to roughly $356.18 per taxable 100,000. Last year, it was $380.96. That's a savings of $24.77 per taxable 100,000 of your value of your home. So we did.
So if your house isn't worth 100,000, then you have to pay extra?
I don't think there's anything in the county right now that's under 100,000, so.
Might be a few things, but the road and bridge adjustments came in a little bit higher. Those came in at 19.5 without benefits. GIS came in at just over $5,700. Planning and zoning came in a little bit lower. It was at 22,000, a little higher than 22,000. With benefits, that allowed us to put 46,000 into,
Prosecutor.
yeah, for
Steve.
increases. So I will get with Steve and ask him how he would like to disperse that. Right now, we just put it in an allocation amount line item, and we'll put it up top when we get that figured out. But for sake of time, that was the
Yeah.
easiest option.
No, that's good.
We added the tool allowance, $1,000 per mechanic in Road and Bridge, and in landfill, there was 1 in landfill and 6 in Road and Bridge. That will be a taxable fringe, so we put it in a budget under tool allowance. And then
Okay.
we'll just have to work out the details of the paperwork that they'll sign if they terminate within a year.
And the only other one that we didn't talk about, ambulance.
Oh, the equipment.
The-
What we can do for the equipment is, that's gonna be one-time monies. We can, if we choose to publish with what we have, we can always reduce that dollar amount. But what we could do is we can take off the description of what that monies will be used for, and then have a discussion with Chief O'Hearn and say, this is how much you have. How would you like to use it? And then the board can approve what he can fit.
I'd like to
within
take
those.
that description off,
Okay, we can
It's-
do
which was the alert system
Right.
that I'd like to have more of a conversation, not just them think they have it automatically.
Right.
I'm on board with that.
I missed one thing. I forgot to move the 14,000 into the fair trust, from the fair trust into the fair budget. That wasn't on my sheet. So we'll make that change. And the only change you're gonna see on this sheet will be 14,000 added to fair exhibit. And then you will see reserves used of 14,000.
Okay.
So I'll bring you one of these sheets.
Okay, that's no problem.
Sorry,
We talked about that was the last thing yesterday.
we did, and I just missed.
Whether it was legal or not, I'm not sure, but the fair board to make a decision.
Oh.
in front of-
You guys made the decision, they just.
And that's
no-
the truth.
No concerns.
They really
They
don't
voiced an
have a
opinion.
choice in it. But,
So these are the changes she'll make. And then she'll just bring you down your copies.
okay.
The only other, do you have any concerns with any of that?
No, I
Okay.
don't.
Okay, the only other item we have not discussed is, at this point, we would now send out sheets to departments with the commission proposed. Would you like to put together a memo or some verbiage of what you want us to put in the body of the email when we send it out?
You've worked with Braden last year.
Okay,
Let's just go ahead and do that.
okay.
Do the same thing.
We want to address, everybody got a 1% and a step. And then, I don't know that I mean, usually we keep this pretty generic, so we can just point those out and say I don't even think we address any other salary adjustments.
Well, and that's what I'd just say, that we looked over the budget this year. We did not increase, so we worried about our employees as well as the taxpayer.
Okay.
We did not take any of the 3% that we could have, because we're concerned on both sides of the line. Them as a taxpayer and them as, and then that, yes, we was trying to give benefits, but this year, our increase is 1% on a step or one step and on a 1% COLA.
Okay.
And that, what was the other thing I thought?
Do you want me to throw in there, we had talked about health insurance and the cost?
That was the other
Okay.
thing. With the cost of health insurance, an added pay period, that,
And let's not forget the health district's immense ask.
Okay.
and our obligations, unfunded mandates from the state.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I told the representative, what's his name, from Idaho Falls?
Oh, Josh Wheeler.
Wheeler. He was talking about unfunded mandates and making us happy. I says, we'll never be happy with an unfunded mandate, ever.
Okay, I can, Braden, do you want to get together maybe in the morning?
Yeah.
The other thing is, if I get a chance, I won't get a chance today.
Do you want me just to write up a version and then tomorrow we can fine tune it?
If you want to do that,
Okay,
okay,
I can do that.
perfect. Okay, and then I can get you the cost on health insurance, or if Caitlin has time, she can. I'm just gonna take the 8.9 million, divide that by the number of employees we have on insurance, which you have that, and then just say that's what our true cost is. And then we'll figure out the verbiage beyond that.
Yeah, I think we keep it
Okay.
straightforward and simple.
If you make it too big, nobody reads it.
Mhm.
They're worried.
They're gonna
about-
read that they got a 2.4%
And then
increase.
They're gonna
Close
look
it.
at this, and then they'll go back and reference. So,
Thank
okay.
you,
Any other questions? Good.
all of you, your office, both of you. Thank you very much. Anything?
I'm very happy with the way this came out, the whole process, and I especially give you guys a lot of credit. You guys did a fantastic job.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yes, I too would like to say thank you to both of you for the work put in, and it was a very smooth, fun process this year, actually. If you can use fun and budget at the same time.
You say so.
Well, relatively speaking. But I know John enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm gonna stand with you on that. But it was a good process.
Yeah. But no, the amount of work and hurdles we had to overcome this year to do what we did was a challenge. So thank you both thank everybody for all their work.
And if
So-
you want electronic copies, as soon as we fix that one page, we'll give you guys new pages too for those.
But we will get a final after it's all
Yeah,
printed. So I'm not real concerned about
Okay.
these, like you said, John, because we will get our booklet or
Yep.
a final page that will be the 2024 budget.
like
Okay.
And so,
the sheet that the book that I always have in here for meetings, you'll get one of those.
Okay,
We do ask if you.
that's like a
guys'
bonus.
If your guys' office can put those together, we'll send you the electronic copies and
Fine.
coordinate doing it.
Yeah, we
Maybe if our office has a little more time, we can try and do it this
We
year.
can
Last
do
year
it.
was a nightmare.
We can do it, it's not a
But
problem.
we've got the binding machine, we've got the covers and stuff like that.
Give me a reason to come down and hang out with you guys.
There you go. You have to come down. You could do ours too then.
Christina will get